I was just testing this out. Oh my goodness, this is gonna revolutionize our life. Where has this been all my life? So for a lot of RVers, fall and winter means cleaning up the RV and getting it ready to go into storage. And for others that are full-time, it means packing up and heading where the weather's warmer. And whether you are full-time or part-time, we're gonna share some tips in this video for cleaning, decluttering, and also some tips if you happen to store your RV away for the winter. So stay tuned.
We are Charity, Ben, Dakota, and Trinity. We decided we didn't want to wait for a life of adventure. So in 2017, we bought our first RV and set off to live a life of travel in the USA. We've visited over 38 states in 3 years and have many more to go. Follow along to learn all the best places to see, RV and travel tips, and much more.
So a lot of people ask us about our RV status, whether we full-time, we part-time, and the answer is yes. So we are most timers where we are traveling a ton of days out of the year. We also still do have a home base, and we actually move out of our home base into our RV during the summer months, and then our home base becomes a vacation rental. And then we do a lot of traveling throughout that school year as well. Part of the reason we moved our home base to Florida a year ago was so that we did not have to put our RV away in storage for the winter, which we did for 4 years. And so make sure that you watch to the end, because we're gonna have some tips on what we did during that time to keep away the rodents. So you're gonna wanna make sure that you watch to the end for that. But regardless of what you're doing this fall and winter, whether you're storing or whether you're just moving to somewhere with a warmer location, cleaning and decluttering is something that always needs to be done from time to time. And I am a little bit of kind of just an organizational nerd, if you haven't noticed from some of the other videos on our channel. So we're going to talk about decluttering today. And then once that we've decluttered and gotten rid of the excess, getting things cleaned up. And then after we've cleaned things up, we're going to give you some tips for if you are somebody who needs to put your RV into a storage situation ever, some tips on how to make sure that it is safe and clean when you're ready to take it out again. So first and foremost, you want to declutter. Now, so many people that full-time RV, you think, okay, we downsize our whole house into our RV. Well, downsizing is something that never ends, really. I cannot tell you how even once that we've moved out of our house into our RV for the summer months, that even, a month or two in, I find myself still going through all of our clothes, our kids' clothes, just different random things, and I'm still downsizing. So one of the things that I learned is if it is something that you have not touched or used in 6 months or more, it's definitely something that you should consider just getting rid of and letting go. You're so limited in space with an RV anyway. And also if you have a travel trailer or fifth wheel, or even with a Class A, you always need to be concerned about weight. Make sure that you're not overweight. Well, one of the best ways to do that is just get rid of any excess. So I'm actually going to go through, and I know that I've got some excess. So we're going to get rid of that today. So one of the areas that I know I always tend to accumulate stuff is in these dinette benches, which are great because they store so much stuff, but it can also be a detriment because they store so much stuff. So let's look at what I've got in here that I know that I just don't need to use. What do we have in here? Okay, well, this here. Okay, this was something that we were using when we were cooking outside, so I could bring stuff inside and outside, and pretty much don't really use this much anymore because we're cooking all inside mostly now with our induction cooktop, which if you didn't catch that video, then you can take a look at the link up above. So this is iffy, if I'm gonna use it or not. So I'm gonna set that there and I'm gonna think about it for a moment. This is a platter that I use to just, put stuff on, again, transporting inside to outside, which we do eat outside sometimes. It's iffy. It's gonna sit here in the iffy pile while I think about it. Okay, let's look at what else we got in here. So this pot, I don't need this pot anymore. So This pot actually came from a thrift store when we first got our very first RV, and I outfitted everything from thrift store finds to have my RV kitchen built, which is a great inexpensive way to do that. But I've got my 2 pots that I need. That's all I need, just my 2 pots. So this definitely can go to the thrift store. Koozies!
I don't think we use
How
those.
many koozies do we... Oh, but this is a KYD koozie. We probably make sure we keep the KYD koozie. But the trailer source koozies could probably go to Goodwill. So that's going to go in the Goodwill pile. This is actually going to... I have some other koozies in the cupboard, so we should keep all the koozies together. So this will go with the other koozies. Okay, what else do we have down here? Oh, I know. This came off the blinds. That needs to go back on the blinds. Okay. What else do we have here? The big tongs. Well,
I have a question. Can you pick those up without tapping them together?
To make sure they work, right?
Yeah, I don't think anybody can do that. I challenge you guys to try this. Let us know in the comments. Can you pick up a set of tongs without tapping them together?
To test it, make sure it works. So, all right. Now, again, when we were using the Blackstone for our cooking, these definitely come in handy. The only thing I could see that we would potentially use these for is if we go to a campground where they have an outside grill. See, all of these hypotheticals. Mm-hmm. It's like, if it takes me 10 steps in my mind to be like, then we might need them. We probably don't. So this can be on that's on the chopping block. Okay, let's see. What else do we have down here? Long-handled spatula. I mean, okay, we did use this when we were camping outside of Yellowstone because we actually did cook over the fire that time. Remember?
Mm-hmm.
So this actually probably should be on the keep list because here's the other thing. Look, if you have this long-handled thing, right? You don't need this.
Right, and
like these are in conflict with one another.
This cuts too, and so
it's
dual purpose.
Ooh, it has dog hair on it.
Oh
Everything's got dog hair, which is why we're cleaning. Okay, so this stays, this goes. So this can go. This is on the stay pile. We really don't need 2 of these. This is longer handled than this. This is gonna go, this is gonna stay. All right, decluttering. See, this just totally charges my batteries. I feel like I'm singing. But I love it. It just feels so good to just get rid of it. And it opens up so much space. And so we've opened up a ton of space already for anything else that we need to put down here for storage. But one thing I will say that I like putting in these dinette benches for storage is anything that is heavy that you need out of the way though. So like case in point would be like a case of bottled water, or we drink a lot of sparkling water. So those types of items you really can't put in the cupboard. You don't want to fill your fridge with it because it takes up a lot of space. So this is the perfect space for that, where it's on the floor and it's out of the way. So I just found out where we're going to store our water. So I know some of you might be wondering, why is there a blanket over the dinette bench? Well, I'll tell you why. We love our dinette booth that we got from Rec Pro when we renovated our RV. But 2 things. 1, we just want to kind of protect the benches, but 2, the biggest thing we want to protect them from is our kitties. And our kitties are not declawed, and we do try to keep their nails trimmed, but their litter box sits under here when we're traveling. So just to make sure that we don't have any kitty claws in the dinette bench. I usually keep a blanket over the bench part to help protect that. So I know somebody was asking. So if you were that person and I'm talking to you, just let me know in the comments below. I was totally wondering that. Well, there's your answer. This is like shelf liner paper, right? Anti-skid shelf liner paper. But I actually put this in the bottom of the booth because it goes straight onto the floor. The floor we changed out from carpet to a laminate kind of flooring material thing. So I put this down so that things aren't sliding around. Okay, so this is gonna be confessional time. Confessions of a Class A RVer. My husband is very noise averse. Now, this sounds totally counterintuitive that we have a Class A RV for somebody who's very noise averse. But I guarantee you, if you ever have the opportunity to ride somewhere with us, you will find this is the quietest Class A you have ever ridden in, because we insulate everything from moving and from making noise.
Double-sided sticky tape, pads. It rides like a Cadillac.
Hence why this is going on the floor so nothing slides around or crashes into each other. Put this here.
Your head.
And then put that there. And then put this here. And this basket can go down there still. Something will go in there. And our one spatula we're going to keep. All right, moving on to bench number 2. Now I already know that I have stuff down here that we're not going to need, because when we did our renovation, I kept all these little extra parts and pieces and screws that came out of things. Just, you never know when, you might have a screw loose.
Hey,
Behind the camera.
I saw that.
Anyway, they're here. And I think a better place for them would probably be like in our basement storage compartments versus inside here, because there's so much more I could do with what's in here. Speaking of which, I already see this. Okay. These ice cube trays felt like a good idea at the time. They don't feel like a good idea anymore, so that's going to the thrift store.
That's why you use shakedown
Have
tricks.
you ever had one of those things where you're like, this felt like a good idea at the time? So let me know in the comments below if that's ever happened, because I'm sure I'm the only one. But anyway.
The sad thing is how many years have we had those in our RV and not used them?
Well, probably just a couple, but still.
So that's sad.
Still. Okay. Now, this is the owner's manual. That's the owner's manual. So this we actually put here so that we can access it, because when you're RVing, crap breaks all the time, people. So you use this a lot. So it's right where I can get to it.
Stuff's online
easily.
though, too. You could probably...
Stuff is online, but still, it's like, sometimes it's just faster to find it in here than it is online when you're trying to sift through 50 articles.
Right, so we could get rid of entertainment, because, I mean, we don't really have this CRT monitor anymore.
Talk about decluttering.
Yeah.
That right there, that can go away. All of this, actually.
Yeah, maybe we go through that, get rid of some weight. Not that payload is an issue for us, but...
No.
I mean...
But that is kind of funny. Panasonic DVD home theater sound system.
What
Color
is a
TV.
DVD player?
Right? Do we even use that anymore?
This is actually important. This is a installation usage guide for the seatbelt. What is that?
A cookbook from the 70s? No, I don't know. The
Microwave
2004.
convection cookbook. So,
Oh, look! It shows you how to do ribeye in your microwave convection oven.
Recipes and everything. Some nice meats and egg rolls.
To cook by Fast Bake. Well, the declutterer in me says we should get rid of it, but I will save it for you, Ben. Save it for you. Okay. All right, let's keep moving forward. I feel like we're digressing. So that is there. Okay, this. The only reason I question this is because if we're boondocking, this like turns into, it's a cutting board, but it turns into like a basin.
And since it collapses, I'd keep it. If it collapses, you keep it. General rule.
Is that our criteria?
Yeah.
If it collapses, it's a stay.
Yeah,
if it doesn't collapse, it's a go. Okay.
It's fine. Easier to keep if it collapses.
Easier.
That's where my felt square. So this is what I use to reduce some of the noise from just little things like, shaking in between stuff. And you want to pick up some of these if you're in a Class A.
Okay, some of this is important. It's all important, but it's not important to probably have in here. It could go outside. So this is going to go outside. It's going to just give us more storage here for more stuff.
This is something that can go into what myself calls the later pile. I still have a few of those to deal with.
More than I can count. Later pile. Okay, I still can't believe how much clutter that I actually accumulate even when I think I've decluttered. So I've got my little pile ready to go be donated. So that's out of the way. The next step is going to be cleaning. Now, a couple of tips for cleaning an RV. Number one is you want to use a natural cleaner, especially when it comes to anything toilet-wise. So this is a great time that I can come in and share with you about Unique Marine and RV, which is actually sponsoring today's video. So Unique Marine and RV actually has a toilet cleaner that is not going to contain any chemicals that's going to kill the bacteria. Now you want healthy colony of bacteria in your black tank because it's going to help eliminate smells. So using the Unique Marine and RV toilet cleaner is now what we use. And then we follow that up with their drop-in pods. They actually have a whole line of products specifically for RV tanks. So your gray tank, your black tank, and also to clean those tank sensors. You've probably noticed a time or two you go to dump your tanks and you check their status and it says that they're still half full or 3/4 full. And that's just because those tank sensors do get dirty and gummed up with all of just the blech that's in the tanks. So the Unique Marine and RV line of products will keep those sensors clean and keep everything functioning properly. So that is one of the products that we have now switched to, and we are super thankful to them for sponsoring today's video. There will be a link in the description below for more information. Plus, they've given us a 15% off discount for our viewers. And so that'll be through our partners page at the link below as well. The next item that we always want to clean are all of the filters for our air conditioners. So we actually pull those out and in some cases actually just replace it with a new filter screen. We'll put a link below for what we buy on Amazon as well, but we just cut it to fit and put a new one in. That's usually the easiest way to keep those clean for us versus actually trying to wash it and then reinstall it. We prefer the high flow stuff. Just seems to work best. The other area that we're going to be cleaning today is all of the pet hair. Let me tell you, traveling with 3 pets, it always seems like that there's pet hair everywhere, and having pet hair that is sticking to areas in this RV has been somewhat problematic. So I've got a pretty cool new nifty tool that we're going to be trying out today to get rid of that pet hair. Super excited to get all of that out of here finally. So this is what I'm super excited about. I do not know why, but for some reason, you know, traveling with pets, we're getting animal hair everywhere, right? I mean, that's just a given, but it's like in the weirdest places that it accumulates. So like, for instance, it like gets on these panels, and but then it sticks. And I don't know why. And one thing that we always do on travel days is I always get like a Lysol wipe or something and just try to like wipe everything down to get the animal hair off. But when I take a Lysol wipe to like this, it doesn't pull the hair off. It like sticks. And so I found these on Amazon and I have been really like ready to try these. And I did a little test spot earlier and this is gonna like completely revolutionize it. But like, take a look at this. So I don't know if you can see this animal hair on this pillar here, but watch what happens. Look at this.
What?
I know it. Look at this. This is incredible. So this is one area too where for some reason we have animal hair accumulating. Now, I've gone in here with like the crevice tool of our vacuum that has like even the little bristle brushes in it, and it doesn't bring the hair up. And so that's why I'm like, we need different tools. We're using the wrong tools to try to get this job done. And then, oh my gosh, look at this. So for some reason, we get animal hair that accumulates in these like tracks. Look.
Wow.
I know. It's like totally getting all of this out of this like window track area.
It's crazy.
And now I can just pull this all out versus before nothing was getting it out. So let's see what else we can do with this. So this is another area I always have the kids and I both will like Lysol wipe, but look at this. And the hair never comes off. But with this tool thing, and I don't know why is this kind of like textured stuff, like why does animal hair stick to this? I don't understand why, but it does. And now that we travel with our pets, but deep cleaning today, baby. Deep cleaning today. Okay, so now here's the tips for if you're going to be storing your RV for the winter, which we actually have in the past and learned some things. some in the school of hard knocks, and some from the wisdom of more seasoned RVers than us. So here's some tips. If you're going to be putting your RV into storage for the winter, one thing I always did is I gathered up everything that could be potential nesting material for any rodents. So all of my toilet paper, all of my napkins, paper towels, regular towels, linens, anything and everything I actually would put into plastic storage tubs or use the space-saving bags, put it in there, suck the air out, and then leave it in the RV. But it was enclosed in a tub to where it was protected and it was inaccessible to any critters should we have any invaders while it's sitting in storage. The other thing you want to make sure that you do is drain out all of your tanks. So drain your fresh water, make sure that your gray and your black are empty. And then if you're in a climate where freezing temperatures occur, I have an accent that I didn't know about. If you're in a climate where freezing temperatures occur, then you want to make sure that you've run some of that pink antifreeze through the lines to make sure you don't have any trouble with those lines freezing and possibly causing damage. Okay, how to keep those pesky rodents away. Let me tell you. We tried everything. And when I say everything, we tried it all. Dryer sheets, Irish Spring, peppermint essential oil, those little scent packs that you get at like the feed stores. We tried it all. What we found worked best, and I'll have a link in the description below, was a battery operated ultrasonic device. Now, we had one that ran off of a 9-volt battery that we used. It actually was motion sensitive, and so if it sensed any movement, it would actually flash a light and sound an alarm at the same time. When we had that going, we never had any invaders. If we were negligent in coming out and checking the battery, we would find that we would end up having an invader or two if the battery had died. So now with solar technology, there's all sorts of different options for potentially running something off of solar instead of just a actual 9-volt battery like we were using. But batteries also work. You just got to make sure that you're running out and checking your rig from time to time, which, let's face it, you love your RV. You want to be in your RV. And even if it's in storage, you're going to run out and just sit and reminisce about until it's summer again, like we all do if we can't be out RVing. So just go out and check it from time to time. So you'll have to let me know in the comments below what camp you fall into. Are you moving south for the fall and the winter? Are you going to have to put your RV into storage for the fall and winter? Let me know below. We always love kind of hearing from you guys and where you're at and what's going on in your world of RVing. That's not gonna work. I actually tried it.
You did?
I tried it one day and it just didn't work as well as this. For any or... It actually was the motion. I'm gonna put a couple of videos that I think you might like right up here. If you'd like to check us out on TikTok, you can do that right over here. And if you're not part of our insiders group yet, we just made some fun announcements over there and you can find out what's happening right here. Until next time, if we don't see you at the campground or out on the road, we'll definitely see you in the next video.